Today's new toy, an ultrasonic wave energy jewellery cleaner that gives amazing results in just a few minutes. Now, I got this specifically for cleaning circuit boards. I don't have anything other than a... what have I done with it? Buried under the junk on my desk. Just a plastic sealable pot with isopropyl alcohol in it. Stick a board in and shake. That's what I've been using so far, so I thought I would have a look, see what one of these is like. Place the jewellery cleaner on a level surface, add batteries not included, surprise surprise, and fill the unit to the indicator level with room temperature water. I think I'll use alcohol. And add a small amount of mild washing up liquid. Interesting. An industrial ultrasonic cleaner, you don't add any detergent. That's the point of having an ultrasonic cleaner. You don't need detergent. Right, so what do we get? Ooh, hello. That looks very sleek. Not bad. Quite a large compartment on it. It's big enough to take an Arduino, that's good. I can clean most of my boards then, because pretty much everything I make is smaller than this. Right, battery compartment on the bottom. Oh, hello. Batteries not included, it says. Those look like batteries to me. Well, I say batteries. Jewellery. Mercury and cadmium and lead. 0%, okay. Jewellery. Day probably. Well, that's a bonus anyway. It's so cheap, this is probably worth it just for those batteries. Big black switch on the side. Well, let's turn it on and see if we can get that ultrasoniciness going. That doesn't sound particularly ultrasonic to me. In fact, that sounds very subsonic to me. That sounds and feels like it's got a counterweighted motor and nothing else. I see it's got sticky pads, these suction cups on the bottom to stick it to a surface, and I wonder why that would be. Because it wants to walk across the surface because of the motor in it. Okay. Oh, hello. That's a fail. One of the suction cups has remained on the desk. Okay. That's not a... looks like they've just siliconed that in and maybe done it earlier today, because that's yuck, gooey. Yeah, they're just stuck in with wet silicone. I mean, look at that. That's, I don't know if you can see that on the camera there, but just catch it in the light there. You can see it glistening with silicone-y wet goodness. Nice. So far it's not very ultrasonic. Let's see if there is actually anything ultrasonic and whether the motor is just an extra. If I can find the right screwdriver. Why can I never find the right screwdriver when I want one? I've got too much crud on my desk. Oh, I'll use the wrong screwdriver then. I can't even find the wrong screwdriver. There we go. So I'm guessing... I'm guessing I'm going to want to wash my hands after this. 3 screws. Take the batteries out. 4 batteries. Three screws, self tappers. And there we go. Oh yeah, there we go. We have batteries, switch, what on earth? And motor. What on earth is that chip for? Judging by the lack of things actually connected to it, I would say absolutely bugger all. Okay, so what do we have? We have battery coming in here, battery coming in here. Motor goes out through the white ones. Simple switch there through a diode. Capacitor across the motor. No, capacitor across the power. Then we have it going into a S8050, is that? Or SB050? I'm not sure. Let me just get my little magnifier. S8050 SDA08. So what's an S8050? S8050 NPN silicon transistor. Wow. So that goes into the emitter, so that's probably the negative. Yes, in minus on there. That goes into the negative of the transistor, and then the emitter of the transistor, the collector comes from the motor, so that's switching the motor under the control of this little unmarked 8-pin chip. Doing what to it, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe it's just when you turn it on after so many minutes it turns itself off again. Tell you what, let's have a look at the manual. No, I can see nothing there that says any. Oh, 2 times 15 minutes it says here. Okay, I'm not sure whether that means it runs for half an hour or if it runs for a quarter of an hour, then stops, then runs again for another quarter of an hour. Turn the switch to the on position. The jewellery cleaner will operate for 15 minutes and then automatically stop. After 3 minutes, the jewellery cleaner will restart for another 15 minutes and then finally stop. So that's just going to be a little microcontroller, possibly a little PIC 10 or a PIC 12 or something. Who knows? Something completely unmarked and unbranded. Okay, so the best part of it, really, I suppose, is the timing facility. The rest of it is most definitely not even remotely ultrasonic. In fact, it's very much mechanical and subsonic. But hey, it's still going to be sitting there shaking a box. At least this I can just turn it on and forget it for a few minutes. Though I may want to do something about these horrible feet. Nothing worse than having horrible feet. Actually, I don't know if it will go back together again because the actual holes, the pillars where the screws go through. Just notice this, the pillars where the screws go through, the screws have been screwed in so incredibly tight that it's actually shattered the pillars. That one there is still attached but cracked. The others, the actual screw holes are still attached to here. That is a big fail on the manufacturing process. That's give a monkey a big screwdriver and tell him to screw it in. And don't tell him to stop screwing, and he just keeps going and going and going until he's screwed through the bench. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen screw failure quite that bad. I think I would have to find some other way of actually putting it all back together again if I want to use it, but I'm not sure really if I can be bothered. It's that poor. It's awful, actually. Yeah, I think a report to eBay may be needed. Well, I've got it back together again. Every attempt to try and get these screw pillars back into one piece failed in complete misery. So I gave up. Good old hot snot. Whole thing's now glued together, no screws. Epoxy screws. And I've even hot snotted in the feet underneath. Not that they actually do anything on this desk, they give a bit of cushion. So let's give it a go. In goes my alcohol. In goes my PCB. Oh, that's a reasonable amount of agitation there. We'll just have to see in a quarter of an hour just how clean it is.